Can't believe you would do this, you disloyal cur.
You said you'd be late. We thought it was okay.
By late, I meant a few minutes, by which I said a few minutes.
Well, I don't know. Some people have different definitions of time.
I have been nothing but punctual to this for 3 solid years.
The first
So
year was a maybe.
apparently the rewards are enabled on your channel now.
Hooray.
Wow.
Rewards? Oh man.
Discord things. I
Subscribe
have no
to
desire
earn
to
rewards.
subscribe to earn rewards.
No. I get your channel for free.
Oh, is this on DS?
This
Yeah,
is on
that's
DS.
a DS game. That's one of the 2 bad DS Mana games, but the less perplexing bad DS Mana game.
Well, I mean, the other one kind of makes sense the capacity that Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings exists.
That didn't make sense either.
Like, it was just like, oh, what can we do with the DS? Let's make RTS games.
Have we ever made those? No. Do we have any idea how to? Absolutely not.
All right, so, well, I'll let it go through the whole.
Man,
So
here I was
how-
going to just, like, if I had arrived earlier, I was going to yell at you that I needed a break from mana because, god damn it, fuck mana.
Next week we will have a break from mana if you are here.
Should be, barring the unforeseen.
Because
There's a lot of possible unforeseens there.
I won't.
we will have a break from mana, or will that be a trick?
I'm gonna put you through a wood chipper. Let's see what happens when you trick the wood chipper.
So, Goggle Bob, I'm saying this because I care. What the fuck, man? What is wrong with you? Who the fuck taught you how to arrange screens? Goddamn, I hate you so much.
You would think you would be centering the gameplay rather than this static piece of art.
Yes, and
Or
like
at least
you,
making it take up more of the screen.
or at the very least, shrink the screen you need less. If you're not playing Sonic Rush, there's not like gameplay happening on both screens.
There might be. I don't know how this game works.
Yeah, I've forgotten too.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the dumb question because I haven't
Go
been
ahead.
paying attention during any of these. Does this have a different storyline than the previous ones?
All
They
of
don't
them
have
do.
stories.
They all have different stories, but none of the stories matter.
They don't
Okay.
have stories.
So nothing I need to
Thank
pay
you.
attention to. Got it.
I mean, if you
Thank
want,
you.
if you want to
Thank
get into
you.
the canonness of everything,
I think this and or the RTS are calling back to Seiken Densetsu 3 for some reason.
well, the RTS is definitely a direct prequel to Second Densetsu 3. This one, it like the RTS straight up like involves characters' dads, like that's a thing. This
Goggle
one,
Bob, I will
however,
fight you to prevent
is-
myself from learning about Secret of Mana canon.
this one is theoretically a like it's a massive prequel in so much as like spoilers because we're not going to get to it, but the ending
Nor
of
will
this
we
game
care.
basically you're creating a world in this game, and the end of this game basically says, well, this world is too good for humans, it has to go away, which is theoretically the like the explanation or prequel of why the mana sanctuary is cut off from humanity in all future games. So
Goggard.
it is
Goggard.
theoretically early.
I have one thing to say to you
Somebody pick a
about the
character.
thing that I just heard.
That
was fucking stupid.
I don't know, Poppin, because they have an incredible hat.
Because you just love the video game Magical Poppin'.
Yeah, sure, that too. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares?
I like that the
I don't
character
even-
that's like,
I'm not-
clearly based
you-
on
you-
Nico is
I know
Wonder.
that, fanboy, that you don't make up video games. You know far too much to ever need to do that. But I choose to believe you made up Magical Poppin.
Yellow, white, blue, or red?
Red.
Red.
Alright.
I know there's a a rhythm game called Poppin' Music.
Poppin'
Yeah,
Bubble?
Magical Poppin' is a Super Famicom side-scrolling platformer. It's pretty decent.
I believe you.
Poppin' Fresh.
Remember when Poppin' Music was brought to America and rebadged Beaten Groovy?
That's a far better
No.
name.
Somebody didn't have the CD. Now that's what I call Beaten Groovy.
You would think Beat would play Beaten Groovy.
You'd think lots of things.
I wouldn't actually think that. It's even though you despise the look, you would despise the look of Poppin' Music. You would despise the look of Beaten Groovy even more.
Well, I'm looking this up now.
Are you sure that's a
Music
good
video
idea?
game. I need to know. Wow. So was this made by sex criminals, or were they just like, or did they just really look up to sex criminals?
That's specific.
As a mix. My favorite thing about Poppin' Music, it was an arcade game that was designed to be played by couples, but that meant that like deranged music game sickos were like, yes, I can play both by myself.
Yeah, Beaten Groovy. This looks like if any random Canadian cartoon, like one of the ones that's disturbingly horny,
One of the
like
really
you-
bad ones.
like you watch like think real 2003 energy. You watch this
Ugh.
and you're like, what is this doing on this Cartoon Network? Isn't this supposed to be child friendly? Did I miss something here?
What
It's-
sex pervert was given money by the Canadian government?
It
Totally
looks like
fine.
that. It looks like that, but like with this veneer of like fake anime, but the kind of fake anime and actual anime would apply to to say, haha, we're making fun of fake anime.
God.
Real sicko shit. Well, let's look up Poppin' Music now.
Poppin' Music is just generic cutesy anime.
This, by comparison, is so inoffensive I don't even react to it.
Mhm. Like Beaten Groovy is someone like being like, we will Americanize this anime in order to ensure that it's fit for consumption, and producing just the grossest looking thing you've ever seen.
Which is insane because this came out. I'm seeing Xbox 360 releases.
Yeah.
Anime was a thing in the States, like a,
Yeah, no,
a
I don't get
known
it
and
either.
recognized quantity.
Yeah, no, I don't get it either. Konami had like this period where they were like, we're gonna like try to reimagine our historic franchises that have never been released in the US because they're too Japanese for a Western audience. And that's how we get that. And Brooktown High, which is Tokimeki Memorial, but the ugliest game you've ever seen in your life.
We'll look that up too now, bro. Let's see what is. Holy shit! What were they thinking? And why would you like just? My God! First of all, there seemed to be like no like like original like quality scans of the box art, the kind that like a
Oh
any
yeah, no
video
one
game
gives a
site
shit about this game.
would like have. These are all just photographs. Secondly, like. God, it's like if you put a dating sim through too many filters. Like if you show me a dating sim, I will mock it, obviously, but I will recognize,
You
yes,
will
a dating
appreciate
sim.
its clarity of purpose.
This has a reason for existence. This is like. So like I assume
You
that
were
like if
so
you're
scared that the
dedicatedly-
general audience wouldn't care for it that you stopped thinking about what audience would.
Yeah, like I'm not sure. If you asked me, hey, Beat, you are now the head of a major video game corporation. How would you bring dating sims to a widespread audience? I would just say, don't, you fucking moron. Don't do that. It's not worth it. You're casting aside everything that makes you human when you ask that question. Dating sims exist for a very specific person, and we don't need to expand that. Those guys will buy anything.
I love that, like, we think of, in America, we think of dating sims as, like, romance-themed visual novels.
That's
But-
what they are, right? For
No.
the most part.
No,
In
apparently
Japan,
those-
in like, the genesis of the genre, Tokimeki Memorial, those games are essentially like weird strategy games.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
scheduling.
They're
Sims.
romance-themed versions of Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Huh. Interesting. I would have I was a young man once. I have played a few dating sims, mostly
Yeah.
because I wanted to look at pornography, and felt for some reason felt that jumping through a bunch of extra steps was a good idea. But the thing that I would say the ones I tried at least was closest to was Punch Club, that game Ample Vigor showed us, fanboy. In that it was like a basically time management simulator. You have so much time and an objective, and you have to plan out your actions to maximize that.
Yeah, there's like that's closer to what a dating sim normally was considered back in the 90s. Like basically, so the way it works in like Tokimeki Memorial is you've got a bunch of social stats. Each girl likes certain ones, but you kind of can't raise just the ones that she likes, which means that you will run into other girls who will be interested in you, and if you don't interact with them, if you aren't willing to go on dates with them at all, they will tank your reputation with each other. Like they will say, "Oh, I met him, he sucks."
Bombs will go off.
Were you
Yeah,
not
and-
once a teenager?
I'm not saying that this is per se unrealistic, but I am saying that it's fascinating because it is because ultimately the game becomes about like trying to manage to make sure that no one hates you while keeping your like social stats up and spending time with the girl you actually are pursuing.
Because that is different from some quote unquote modern dating sims where sort of the point is pick your favorite girl and have fun with her. And you don't have to worry about whatever that other one over there is up to.
As somebody who didn't really date until his 20s, yeah, that's what dating is.
But is it?
But,
But that's the thing. You didn't date until you were in your 20s. Dating
Yeah.
in high school
When people had their
is
shit figured out.
yeah. Dating in high school is something else
That's
because it's
relative.
yeah.
Relatively figured out, got it. But yeah, like you kind of have to draw back to the fact that in Japan, strategy games are simulation games. This was essentially like the management / strategy game with a veneer of like the theoretical idea of there's more personal connection because it is theoretically about dating.
Yeah, it's a strategy game in the same way of like coaching a baseball team is a strategy game.
And there's a lot of those too.
You've got a baseball team of girls. And you want to hit a home
I feel like
run
there's
with
probably a
one.
porno version of that too.
I mean, that just sounds like high school. I don't understand. Why would people? Okay, there is absolutely a point that I got to with The Sims that I don't understand why people do that because adulthood is a thing. And in the same principle, why?
I mean,
Because
I
you
will
can
state
you
that
can simulate if your
not?
childhood had gone well.
I mean, I will state that The Sims was 100% a game that I played the most when I was a poor college student and could fantasize about being able to buy a bedroom set that, like, everything
Nah.
looked the same. Like, that
No,
was the
that's what
fantasy
I
of The
mean.
Sims.
That made sense at the time, but now I don't. But I'm also not one for like. I know a lot of people spend time building their houses, and that they don't actually play the game as the game plays. But I don't know. Never mind.
The only Sims
Disregard.
games
got
that I really
way
the only
far
Sims games I really played were the console ones where they had an objective-based get a life mode.
The only
The herbs.
Sims game I played extensively was Sim Ant.
Listen, I
Which-
watched you like create me in the DS version of the herbs and then not let me use the bathroom because you're an asshole.
Okay, but I did that for like a half hour. I played the Sim Ant like for weeks as a kid.
I love that. Like
It was
as
the
a child,
only
it never
game-
occurred to me that
It was the
Sim Ant
only
had
game
an
on my dad's
objective.
computer. It had
As
an
a
objective: kill that fucking spider.
It had the objective of take over this man's entire lawn and house.
Oh yeah, I never ever got that far. I never got past my 1 square on the yard.
Sorry,
Yeah.
some of us are still playing SimCity on Windows 95.
Which SimCity, though?
What do you mean, which? Jesus, I have to look this up now. Hang on.
It's gotta
There's
be
one
2000,
with
right?
FMVs that are rather amusing.
I will only be playing Streets of SimCity. Thank you very much.
That was such a great idea.
And then it sucks to actually play. It sucks.
Yes. I mean, I can't tell
Yeah,
you. I mean,
I heard about that when it was like, oh shit. So
Because like it was the coolest
basically-
idea.
Yeah, I was just thinking, wait, you mean I can just like, lay out my roads how the fuck ever and then race on them? That sounds awesome.
and
Yep.
I, and I
And then
will
it's a buggy
state,
piece of shit, and it's not fun to race on.
like,
I don't doubt that in the slightest.
like the number one thing. I used to play SimCity 2000 with my next door neighbor, and who was when I'm saying like we were both like 10 or however old we were, and like our number one fantasy game was being able to build these giant cities and then actually quote unquote play in them, like run around the streets or whatever.
You
And
build
the
shit
idea
with
that
your
there was gonna
blocks,
be a
and then you
game
play
for
with
that.
your action figures in them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we were basically imagining Minecraft in a weird way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, there's a reason that like SimCity does not exist anymore.
Because
like,
Minecraft exists.
Yeah, some of it is EA's mismanagement, but a lot of it is just that like the thing that like people were getting things out of SimCity that were not what SimCity was really built to do, and Minecraft came out and was built to do those things.
God. I was talking in the Discord just the other day about Minecraft's accidental mechanics at super high level play. I watch a number of Minecraft YouTubers because they're very sedate, and that helps me sleep sometimes.
Oh yeah,
And-
I find that very useful.
But like the builds, the ways, the farms in my mind, and I do not mean planting things in the ground, are always the most fascinating ones because it's always just, well, here's like the actual mechanics of how all these different mobs work, and here's what they drop when they die, and there's a system to that, like lets you just if whatever's dropped here falls into this area, it'll just be collected and put in a box. How do we abuse this? And it turns out the most easy way to abuse a lot of those things is by taking a bunch of villagers captive and terrifying the shit out of them, causing them to spawn golems, which then immediately get murdered. And you're like, wow,
Temporal motion device.
I certainly hope nobody intended this because damn. If like the guys who they were making said, oh, we should like
You have to be a real
thing.
sick puppy to design
You'd
that.
have to be just incredibly depraved for that to be the goal.
Okay, I've determined that it was SimCity 2000.
Good choice.
That was the one.
Oh, what's the one that was the theme park one?
Some theme park.
Yeah.
Or maybe Roller Coaster Tycoon. I don't know.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. Thank you. That was the one I was thinking of. I just remember my brother building shit that killed people.
Oh yeah, that's the fun of the roller coaster. Later roller coaster, like sim coasters, roller coaster tycoon, whatever. Later ones would let you like do like a 3D video of your fucking roller coaster, so that gave them another like layer of interest.
I don't know. I just remember like when we first started playing The Sims at one point, and my brother had installed all of the cheats, and it wasn't entertaining anymore.
I need to
And,
look
I
up
mean-
like every song that's ever been recorded in Simlish.
Oh no. And then do what with that information?
Everything.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I asked the question, didn't I? I asked a lot of questions that I don't
You got the
necessarily
answer
want
that you're gonna
to.
get.
As I started saying, I don't necessarily like the answer to all of the questions that I ask, but here we are.
I'm just saying, Black Eyed Peas absolutely sang in Simlish for the herb Sims in the city.
How would you even know
That's hilarious.
Consider who you're talking to,
this?
Gogglebop.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Who named us
Also-
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I'm crocheting a Cthulhu, and everyone needed to know this.
Yay.
I approve
did.
of this Cthulhu.
I'm Gogglebob, and I approve of this Eldritch Horror.
It's kind of a test case, so it's whatever I had handy, which is obnoxious red color right now. But,
I can say what color a Cthulhu is.
I mean, generally they're green, apparently.
Okay,
They're probably
so,
some
like,
color beyond our comprehension or some shit.
True story. But also, I don't
Magenta.
have any,
I mean, I could make a really terrible Lovecraft joke, but I'm pretty sure it would be misinterpreted.
So what you're saying is a racist one. Got it.
Yes. Like, there are colors that Lovecraft did not want to deal with. Let's put it that way.
boy.
Hey, it's racist. There.
Did you start saying something, Beat?
no,
Beat would never
all-
stop saying something just because someone else was talking.
yes.
We have learned this.
I might as well work on my commission.
Good idea.
Would not be the worst idea. Because this video game is very boring and bad.
I mean, we're in the
None of us have even
tutorial.
pretended to be paying attention to it. I don't even think Gogglebob is.
And I'm playing the game.
I'm watching.
I've
I
got it
have it
open
like
on
on my
screen.
screen right now,
Exactly.
and like
I'm eating my burrito.
this is just a nothing game. There's nothing here.
I mean, I will say this is the first mana game we have played that just has pretty straightforward combat.
Which is to say, combat that actually appears functional.
Yes.
Which like doesn't give it. It doesn't have anything else to hang its hat on. But that's
and so
Yeah.
far we've got the Secret of Mana like monster sprites, which are
I remember
not
I got this game like used at GameStop for like 50 cents in a bus token.
bad. You could have used that bus
and-
token.
I really could have, couldn't I? Could have gone downtown. Could have walked around.
Making your way downtown.
with
Yes.
20,000 lines left to go and lead to somewhere I don't know.
See, you guys are referencing totally different songs there. And it's great. I love it. Keep doing it.
Very characteristic.
Extremely so. But like, I don't know. I remember playing it for a while and going, surely. I mean, it's an RPG and it's an RPG series that like I constantly see weird nerds on the internet say is good in one way or another. Surely there must be more to it than this. And like a half hour later, I was like, oh, there isn't.
It's over.
I mean, this was
But I never
the-
put it back in my DS ever again.
This was released not simultaneously, but almost simultaneously with the PS2 game. That, like,
Is that the Kawazu one that like Wheels talks up? And like
No.
yeah,
Oh,
what,
okay.
what would that game be?
I have no idea.
Oh wait, it's probably a Saga.
Might be
game.
Romancing Saga.
Yeah.
Probably one of the Saga games then.
But
The only mana game that Kawazu had significant involvement with is the one that we saw last week, Legend of Mana.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Kawazu is just a weird guy in general, right?
Oh yeah.
Just unusual.
I really loved when they started releasing Saga games in English again with Scarlet Grace ambitions. He like started up a fucking Twitter account that like officially it was like the Saga 25th anniversary account at the time. It's now like 30 or 35th, whatever. Point is, he started up a Twitter account and like despite the name, you could tell that it was just him tweeting because like people would be like, "Hey, what do you think of the new Dungeons and Dragons?" And he's like, "Wait, there's a D&D 5th edition. I need to order books."
Saga says I need to order some more books.
It was very good. There was one like tweet response I saw on that account that lives with me forever. Like, if you translate it out of Japanese, basically someone asked him like, because they were releasing an updated version of Saga Scarlet Grace, and someone's like, well, why didn't you just release it when it was finished? It's like if you were just going to release an updated version. And his response was basically like, I don't think I have ever released a game that is truly finished. I have released games that are done. Like, if I get the chance to go back, I like to add things in, but I don't think that a game is ever really finished.
I like to add things in.
I was thinking about fucking Star Citizen. Star Citizen. The other day, and I read this article on it that was like just sort of talking about how like the lead on that project, what's his name, Chris Roberts would like seize on any minor detail, like a tiny little art asset, and just sort of like hem and haw over it for all day, and then at the very end of it say, nope, redo the whole thing.
Real John K vibes there.
I read that and I went, wow, it's the thief and the cobbler. It's that guy. We have the video game equivalent of that, and everybody was, and the write up was all about, oh my, what an incredible perfectionist. But surely what he ends up with must be the greatest game of all time. And I'm like, no, he is chasing the ghost of a game that lives in his brain alone. This game will, like, if he gets his way, never, ever be finished, because nothing in reality can ever match the perfect vision in his brain that only he sees. And that's why he can tell you that he has a consistent vision, but it changes every week. Absolutely. There's nothing there. It's the sort of thing
that's a way nicer read than I have.
It's the sort. Oh yeah, no. Also, he's probably a psychopath.
Yeah, I think he's just some degree grifter or another.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
he
no,
started
absolutely.
out with the desire to make something. I don't think that has really existed that much for the last 10
I
years.
don't think he ever plans on finishing Star Citizen. I feel like his business model is the insane fans will pay me $100,000 for a ship eventually. So I'm gonna just ride that till the end of time.
How
I also think about Ken Levine, who spent 8 years trying to make the perfect video game and made absolutely nothing, and then suddenly shifted into overdrive when he learned about cancel culture.
There we go. Okay, I've had my big burrito.
Yay. Now you can
Yay.
look at Children of Mana in earnest.
Nope.
Not doing that shit.
Mysteriously, I have to play Metaphor instead.
Damn.
How's that working out for you?
Go well. Having a fun time with the merchant class. I will throw money at treasure chest monsters, and they will be too busy picking it up to fight me.
That's cute.
I was looking at this picture when I heard you say big burrito.
Give you the rank of big burrito.
Horrifying.
That is not.
Oh no.
That is not encouraged.
No.
The only food that should come in that shape is cranberry sauce.
I mean, even that's kind of a push.
Why would you do that, Katniss?
Yeah.
Like,
Who made this, and why did they wish violence upon all who saw it?
It's just refried beans.
No, I'm not against that. I'm against the choices that they've made with the refried beans.
How did we
It
get
looks like it's probably still cold.
I'm
No, it
almost
must be.
certain that they didn't actually eat it.
I would hope
only
not, but
made
that
it
just
to the
They
bothers
just
me
show.
because they're
threaten
wasting
somebody
food.
with it.
Right? Such a waste of money.
I really don't like refried beans.
I'm fine.
Same.
I don't like them when they come in that freaking sphere
That
mode or whatever's
shape.
happening there.
A can?
Yeah,
A
so, well,
cylinder?
just
Yeah, someone doesn't know what their shapes are, so Gogglebob's getting remedial preschool.
I refuse to learn shapes. That triangle of beans offends me.
Man, you're not even in the right dimension anymore.
Triangle.
Particle man, doing the thing the particle can.
What's he like? It's not important.
Oh man,
Particle man.
is he depressed or is he a mess?
Does he feel totally
Is
worthless?
he a dot or is he a speck? He's underwater, does he get wet? Does the water get him instead? Nobody knows. Particle man.
I mean, it seems like that'd be something easy to learn, but
Triangle man, triangle man. Triangle man hates the particle man. They have a fight. Triangle wins. Triangle man. Universe man, side of the entire universe man, usually kind, smaller man, universe man. He's got a watch with a minute hand, millennium hand, and an eon hand. When they meet, it's happy land, powerful man, universe man.
That sounds like the stuff of nightmares, though.
Person man, person man.
I mean, I think I have seen
Hit on the
somebody
head
once who
with a
claimed that it
frying
was
pan.
a Cthulhu thing.
Lives his life in a garbage can. Person man. Is he depressed or is he a mess? Does he feel totally worthless? Who came up with person man? Degraded man. Person man. Really down on person man, aren't we?
Yep.
Poor person, man.
Triangle man. Triangle man. Triangle man hates person man. They have a fight. Triangle wins. Triangle man.
Made of beans.
I'm going to just
I mean,
the wood chipper gets more like appealing with every passing moment.
to
Oh,
be
yeah.
fair, it sounds like person man doesn't like himself very much either.
Degraded
Doesn't mean it's
man.
okay to dunk on person man. Person man's
First
going
man
through
had
some
it
shit.
rough.
He's had a long day.
Right, but like, what business does Triangle Man have to dislike Person Man?
I think he just fights
Triangle man
people.
seems like an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the brunt of it, wouldn't it?
He just fights people.
Just beats people up.
Yeah.
Big ol' assholes.
Does he beat anyone other than Person Man up?
Particle man as well.
Oh.
What was that?
I said so. Technically, everybody.
Yes.
No, he
No,
doesn't do.
Universe
He doesn't
Man.
fight Universe Man.
Uh,
Universe Man's
What?
too big. Triangle Man's
Yeah.
a bully.
but what about Atom Man? Is there an Atom Man?
No, it's just Particle Man.
Not in
Go
the
fight you.
song.
Why are they all men anyway?
Why wouldn't they be?
Because they're wrestlers.
Because they are Mega Man bosses.
Women would have been like, "Why are we doing this again?"
Person man, you need therapy.
I feel like he
Well-
probably could just make like a bad Mega Man fan game that's just Particle Man.
I would be surprised if there's not something like that out there.
There's got to be one bad ROM hack that's that.
Or Flash game on Newgrounds.
Perhaps.
So, do both screens get used at any point in this game? Like at the
No.
same?
I mean, you see the bottom screen winds up with a map and your like stats and stuff.
I don't know. The top
This
was
is pretty
black
common.
the last time I looked.
I'm happily not looking at the screen.
Yay.
These
I'm on
tentacles
fire.
are adorables.
So if
Stop.
anybody cared about mana lore, I could give an explanation of what we're fighting here.
I don't think anyone cares about mana lore.
That's
Absolutely not.
disappointing.
Bob might, but Bob might not be a person.
But Bob's gonna write up in the description anyway, so
That's
That just
true.
seems
I get like
like-
ultimate veto power on what we talk about.
Not
well,
really.
dude, we can talk about whatever the hell we want. What you write about is a different story.
I should get like terrible host capabilities of just like muting people. It's like, no, we're cutting his mic.
Yeah, good luck. Like at that point, we will all just pile into another room
Yeah.
and talk shit while you're alone playing children.
No
Yeah, you
Bob's
just-
Club.
It will just be all by yourself playing this.
And we don't want to do that to you.
Alone playing
mean-
Children of Mana.
Subject us to more of this, and we just might.
Can burrito.
I mean, the next game is at least I don't know if I'm going to say interesting disaster, but it is definitely like a disaster that may be enjoyed by others.
Well, as opposed to a boring disaster.
Exactly. Nobody likes a boring disaster. This might be a boring disaster.
Ooh, new episodes of What We Do in the Shadows streaming. You're welcome.
God damn this guy. There we go. I love that this is one of those games where they decided that not only do you get hit by an enemy, but there's some sort of annoying nonsense of like exactly like you bounce around or get knocked down or whatever. So not only is it annoying to get hit because you lose HP, but also you just plain can't do anything for a second. Great fun for everybody.
The bad video game.
I swear it's the last time, and I swear it's my last one.
That doesn't work.
It's like us around this whole block, walking the cracks of the same old sidewalks. Then we'll talk about leaving town. Yeah, we'll talk about leaving. I swear it's the last time, and I swear it's my last try.
See if I can reflect those things I show during this.
We rode across that bridge all night. We talked our way through city lights. First on our lines, we're killing time under those building sides. From downtown to anywhere but here. Tonight, yeah, I swear to these rooftops. And just hope that calm would never stop. And I swear it's the last time. And I swear it's my last try. And we're walking circles around this whole block. Walking the cracks of smooth sidewalks. And we'll talk about leaving town. And we'll talk about leaving. I swear it's the last time. And I swear it's my last try.
Alright, that seems to be the best way to do this.
I saw that said familiar signs when we went by, past time counting those satellites with 20,000 lines left to go that lead to somewhere I don't know. It might be the time that we leave us all behind, and I swear it's the last time, and I swear it's my last breath. Craig to the same old sidewalks. And we'll talk about leaving town. And we'll talk about leaving. I swear it's the last time. I swear it's my last try.
Yay.
Well done.
We got music.
You got through a whole song. Holy moly.
No, it's not done. A few times we felt right.
The song continues.
The westbound signs just.
For some reason, I decided to look up the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season on Wikipedia.
It's my last try. We'll walk in circles around this whole
I got a high score. I
I
got silver rank.
And we'll talk about leaving town. And we'll talk about leaving. I swear it's the last time. And I swear it's my last try.
I like that I got all this random stuff that I literally can't equip.
I'll be right back.
Hurricane Beryl, I completely forgotten about.
We'll talk about leaving town. And we'll talk about leaving town.
Okay, so the lore is
Nope. The black
There's
cloud
a really,
over
really
this
pretty
house
chart on the
that's been
Wikipedia page
around for
of
3
the,
years now.
but I can't hear you for the singing, Cass.
No, that's fine. It's not important. I'm talking about the hurricane Wikipedia page. Don't worry.
Oh, then never mind. Go back to singing, fanboy.
Union. So both of you, this union. I remember him turning around. He said, son, I'll be leaving now. I can't be the person that you want me to be. And then she said, so things are finally ending now.
So here's a dude all in
And
black who
you
appears to be
keep
like half
walking,
tree or
you
something. I
can't
don't know. He's
be
probably on
the
the up and up.
person that you want me to
Emo.
be. Me to be
Yeah,
3
what?
years of all the arguments, 3 years
Hey, he
of
looks like
all
he's
the
got like some wood growing out of his face.
to last me
You know,
alive,
as you do.
3 years of all the arguments, 3 years of all this pain. That's why they call it a union. That's why they call it a union. So both of you, please forgive me tonight. That's why they call it a union. So please forgive me tonight. I remember him
Like
turning
Poppin looks
around.
concerned, except
He
Poppin is
said,
like
"Son,
3
I'll be
circles as a
leaving
face.
now. You can't be the person that I want you to be. Want you to be 3 years of all the arguments, 3 years of all the
You still alive over there?
enough to last me a lifetime. 3
Who are you talking
years of
to?
all the arguments, 3 years of
I
all
said, is
this
Pete
pain.
still alive
That's why
over
they
there?
call it a
I am
union.
now. I was gone for a few seconds,
That's
but
why
I'm
they
back.
call it a union. So both of you, please forgive
Don't worry,
me
it was too quiet.
tonight. That's why they call it a union.
Damn,
Aside
you
from
knew the
the,
entire album.
Forgive me
aside
tonight.
from the
I
music.
can't look at the pictures anymore
Well,
because
I
I
meant
know
Pete
how it's
specifically was
run
quiet
its
for
course.
a while.
And I know how the story ends. I know it ends.
Is my mic not working or something?
No, you
We
just
can
can't
hear
stop me. It's a black
Oh,
cloud
okay.
over
I wasn't
the house
talking about that. I thought
that's been
Cassandra
around
was
for 3
whatever.
years now.
Um,
There's a thunderstorm.
I'm just
in
gonna
Oh,
be a
the
smartass.
did I
Don't worry.
There's
mention I
another
beat Echoes of
fight
Wisdom?
tonight. There's a black
You know what? Just to
The
stop
new
the
Zelda.
music, I'm going to say no.
been around for 3 years now.
Well, I'm very considerate, so the music continues.
It won't go away. No, it won't go
Weirdly, I
away.
think one of my favorite like dumb details about the game was Link's characterization. And he's Link, right? He's not a character, he's a cipher. But like when he shows up at the end of the game, he's basically acts like a player controlled character. He is 100% like, no, let's just go. I think at one point, if you're stuck in a room, he just starts jumping up and down in front of the door.
Does he actually talk? though?
Lad.
You know, he doesn't talk. He's Link.
Of
he
course
doesn't talk.
not.
He is an
There's-
excitable lad.
There's a story reason for his muteness, but basically he's just Link.
We can't
And,
escape.
like, like the background plot for what he's been up to this whole time, for what he's been doing, is kind of great because like he loses his sword. He's totally equipmentless and he's stuck in like, the game's version of the Dark World. And his attitude about basically the whole thing was fuck it, I would do it anyway. So like when he shows up like way later in the game, the implication is while you were doing all like, your dungeon solving other shit, he was just like out there brute forcing his way through hell.
I mean, brute forcing his way through hell seems like a Link thing to do.
Yeah, no. He can be quite clever, but he also could just beat his head against something.
I was
until
about to
it works.
say, the thing about Link is like 90% of the problems he has ever solved throughout history have been solved by like throwing a chicken at it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that how you solve your problems?
Yes.
Duh.
All the time. Stop living half a life and stop feeling like I'm half alive. I can't get
okay,
enough.
so
I'm not satisfied. I've wasted my time with this daily grind. In single file
Is this still the same song?
No, I believe he's working his way through all of either Hello Rockview or Anthem. I'm not sure which.
It's Anthem.
Anthem. Okay, it's Anthem.
Hello Rockview and Anthem are both it's about peak of that era of ska to me.
Yeah, no, pretty much. I will say I do like some of their later albums.
Oh no, when I say that,
it was of a time. I get it. I wasn't wild about one of them, but like I think the one that came out right after Gainesville, Florida, was great. I love that one.
I had a lot of sound the Alarm EP.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Does everybody keep cutting out audio, or is it just my...
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just
We've
wanted
all
to make
just
sure it
grown
wasn't
to live
my-
with it.
We must live because we cannot yet die.
Beat was never alive.
We don't we can because we must.
there you go.
Now I have a song stuck in my head.
Join the club.
One,
If
huh?
you can sing it louder than Fanboy, you might win.
That's a competition you never thought.
There. I'm not saying there's a prize if you beat Fanboy, but I'm not saying it either.
Not to be so complicated tonight, and let the stars align. And I believe in luck.
Oh my God! Earlier today, while I was slogging through a thankless task at work, I suddenly realized I'd been muttering "Darby crashing your party" under my breath for like the last hour. The girl at the desk next to mine must hate me.
I can't keep my balance right. In my experience, people won't hate you enough to stop you.
I think that's because we all already like you.
Who might be there when it ends?
I mean, we
Although
were
test
joking
that.
about having like a mute button or whatever.
That was just you.
Yeah. I actually have all the mod powers. And guess what? I'm turning Fanboy's volume up.
You know what?
I was like, and then it stopped. Come on now.
Can
I built an empire of some crazy garbage, all the blood of the exploited working class.
I always hear it as
They
a
will become their shyness.
Oh,
now
no.
they're calling me your highness, then the room screams.
I'm gonna
Kiss
get a
me, son of God.
It's the weight of the words when we talk too much.
What's even
what
funnier is
makes
if it was
the cut
in
that we
stereo
make
and you
the
have
cut.
one on each side.
All that I advise, won't waste another
Speaking of
night.
headaches.
I like that we just got karaoke going now.
Bar.
When do we
I
not?
can't karaoke often enough.
With fanboys,
Coughing those
karaoke every
drugs,
week. What are you
drug
talking
down the
about?
street by his self-abuse, a candy man hanging from a self-tied noosance in public with panties and bras, not like the beavers of Harriet and Ozzy. He's the bastard son of the Colonel Kurt, the CEO of Buster Crystal Metal Mercs. That's enough of that.
Think I trust you.
At least we're getting a flammy drum early.
So, Gogglebob, how goes progress in Children of Mana?
Well, I just beat the first.
I'm afraid I
dungeon,
don't care. I don't think I trust you.
and I think the first
I love the
dungeon.
fanboy broke rhythm for exactly long enough to tell you basically in the politest words possible to fuck yourself.
We just have major objections to mana happening here, apparently.
Dude, have you not been paying attention at all?
I mean,
for
the funny
past,
thing is like we
like
did
8 million weeks.
we 8 billion weeks. This is week 6.
Each day to explain the way, the ricochet that life throws at you, to every break and wave, every pace we brace, we stand in place when the storm hangs right above our heads.
Okay,
Can
so
we hold on here and can we float? Can we keep from sinking like a stone inside
So,
of my
I
head?
have to ask this Gogglebob, that like map screen you were at, was that literally just a map screen on top and a map in the same map on bottom? But,
That
like,
appeared to be the
one
case,
was-
yes.
One was like a photograph, so like Google satellite view, and the other one was like a map.
I mean, these are the early days. Like, I can't say there isn't confusion regarding like what to do with 2 screens.
All
I
right,
feel like no matter what, you could have done better than that.
really could have. Second follow-up. As you play Children of Mana, do you find yourself asking why? Why did I commit to playing all the Mana games? What the fuck is wrong with me?
I do not say that because I know exactly why I'm doing this.
Oh well, please
Hey, I get the
enlighten
feeling
the rest
you
of
guys
us.
have asked that a few times.
It's because mana games.
That's not an answer.
Yeah, it's about like we've done like things like Brave Fencer Musashi followed by Samurai Legend, and Samurai Legend is 100% a game that, like, if it wasn't it is a game that I bought back in the day, played for an hour, and then said okay, and then didn't play again until we did it for Even Worse streams.
Sure.
And the Mana series is something that I purport to like quite a bit, and is also something that I'm thinking of Secret of Mana when I say that, and I'm not necessarily thinking of literally any of the other multiple games within the franchise.
All right, like, so was this like all just an attempt to like force yourself to reckon with the fact that you don't actually like these games because they're bad?
I mean, I hate to say it, but like last week's Sword of Mana was a game that I do not like conceptually on multiple levels.
This
And
one.
the sad truth is that after I finished playing it, like for the stream night, I said to myself, I could play this a little bit more. And I didn't, but I could. Which tells me that, like, I actually enjoyed that game more than I thought. Now, this game is not getting that accolade, but just point being is that there's more to these Mana games than just everybody on the stream complaining about them.
I don't doubt that, but also
Further justice without making
I don't. I'm struggling to put into words the thoughts inside my head here when it comes to Mana.
Like, I
guess-
feel like every Mana game, for various reasons, and like, you know, they've got problems that come from different directions, but for various reasons,
Obviously.
I would say the various Mana games are like solid B games, but they are Like, they're not the worst thing in the world if it's the only thing you had available. I mean, like, this game always sticks in my mind. I think this was distinctly 2006.
2006.
Yes. Now, the reason I bring it up is because I'm about to admit to a crime. So, 2006.
I hope it's one of the cool crimes, not one of the horrifying crimes.
It is in my opinion, it is a cool crime. 2006. A buddy of mine was working at GameStop. And he was going to leave GameStop to pursue other things. And I was hanging out with him on his last night. And this feels like a dumb thing that a company would do, but he was the only person working that night. Like, he was closing, and it was literally his last night. And
what are they going to do?
And the thing is I'm saying to him... Huh?
Take the keys away from him.
And that's the thing, is that, like, he was literally going to close up for the night, and then the next day he was just going to drop off the keys to the manager, and who cares? He was leaving on amicable terms. That's the end. And I said, there aren't any cameras or anything in here. It sure would be a shame if you just looked in that other direction and I walked behind the counter. And he's like, all right, just don't go nuts. And so I walked behind the counter, and I thought I was either going to steal this game or Sonic 2006. And I decided ultimately on Sonic 2006.
I mean, like, if
I'm
you're
glad
to
to
steal
say
a game, that's probably the most moral game to
I was
steal.
about to say, and I feel good that anytime anyone brings up Sonic 2006, I can say that is a game I got for free. Like, I did not pay any money for that.
Oh, Gogglebob stole a copy of it.
I mean, that was just stealing a curse.
And I think ultimately what decided it was Sonic 2006 was the more expensive game. But yeah, that will always stick in my mind as, like, I had the choice between these two games, and I chose that. And I did eventually get this game, as Beat says, used for, like, the cost of a bus token. Like, that was a thing that happened. But like, this, of its era, this wouldn't have been the worst DS game to be playing. Like, this could be passable for a car ride where you're fighting random mana monsters and what have you.
Tetris.
Yeah, I know. The Tetris is always available.
What's this about Tetris?
Tetris is always the backup plan.
When's that Tetris collection coming out?
Absolutely. Fanboy.
Tetris.
Relevant question relevant to your interests.
Oh no.
What's the best song on Anthem?
Oh shit. That's hard.
I know, right? Because, like, I don't think it's their best album. I think Hello Rocky is their best album. But, like, if you're limiting
Hello
the
Rocky
choices...
is their best album, but Anthem might be their best collection of songs.
yeah, exactly, right? So, like, I'm not super into most of them, but if I had to, like, plant my flag, I would probably say The Brightest Bulb is Burned Out / Screws Fall Out.
That one's really good.
Okay, good.
I have a lot of fucking, like, emotional bond with Look What Happened and The Science of Selling Yourself Short.
Both very good songs. If I wasn't going to say Brightest Bulb is Burned Out, because that's really two songs, that feels like cheating. It's like saying Homecoming's your favorite song on American Idiot, right? That's 11 minutes long. That's like 8 songs. Come on. I would probably say I would probably say then She's Gonna Break Soon.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking was probably the strongest, just straight up song.
Yeah.
I look like Jesus, so they say, but Mr. Jesus is very far away.
That's great. That's excellent.
Also, is there a cat in the background now?
There
I
he
heard
is.
a cat.
Show us
He
the
yelled
cat.
at me until I let him in.
There's a lot of cat pics.
There need to
Pictures
be
of the cat
more.
and post them to the Discord so we can all appreciate the cat.
Cat tax.
Remind me later to share. A friend of mine recently adopted 2 cats that have 2 eyes, and that's the maximum number of eyes for these 2 cats.
That
Two
is
eyes
to the-
between
Oh,
them.
They are
Gotcha.
adorable.
Yes.
They are pirate cats.
That's
Who
wonderful.
doesn't love them?
There was a cat. You know the place. My folks rented. Not rented. Just said, yeah, sure, you can stay there, whatever. In Cocoa, right?
Yes,
Dog
of
Bob?
course.
For like 10 years, there was a cat with no tail that just hung out there all the time. And
Manx.
my mom actually scooped it up once. No, I think it just had a bad accident somewhere.
Oh,
Maybe. We're not sure. My mom took it to the vet once just
The cat
to
tells
get
no
it checked
tales.
out. Just to get checked out. And they said, this cat's got like 1 million issues. We should probably put it down. And she said, yeah, but it's been going strong for like 10 years and I'm not going to stop it. So she just brought it back and it kept going for another like 3 years.
I mean, that's kind of how
Good
cats
on.
work, I feel.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there was always a bowl of food out for it. It was very much an outdoor cat. And she was like, I don't get to say, no, this cat's life is over because this cat has been doing great for a long time.
And that was a cat that basically lived at the beach. Good for it.
Yeah, it was a beach cat.
Good for them.
And like it had adopted this apartment condo and there was always a plate of food out for it. So there you go.
Maybe it's
That is a lot more photos than anticipated, and I love all of them. They're all very good. Thank you for all these photos.
A couple of them are videos, it appears.
I really hope your cat's name is something rude or something silly like Bob.
That's not
Oh
a silly
fuck,
name.
crumbs! Have I told you about the worst thing I ever did
Oh,
to a
my
cat?
lord.
Oh no.
This is going to end poorly.
No,
Oh,
no.
no.
Everybody's heard this story, but Chromes might not have.
I might not
I
have.
might not have.
Okay. So, college for me. So like 2003 through
You
what the
weren't
fuck
born
ever.
yet.
I was there forever. I was in college for a long fucking time. I had friends, and we were like study buddies. We studied all the time at her place, and she had just gotten a cat. So it was an adoption, right? And she named it something, whatever. Who cares? I looked at that cat and just immediately decided that cat's name was Bob.
Hey.
Before you knew this spot.
Yes. Before I knew this Bob, right? Long before I knew this Bob. Long before I knew any of you guys. Well, maybe I knew Fanboy then. Maybe. Yeah, I probably knew Fanboy. At least seen him on the forum.
Yeah, we've known each other since 2011.
We've known each other forever. Then I was out of college by then. No, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so I every time I came to her house to study engineering because we both sucked at it. I would always just address the cat as "Hey Bob," and one time,
What was the cat's actual name?
one time our study, I don't even remember. It doesn't matter, right? Then one time, we got there's 4 of us there. We're all just trying to pass our midterm together. And her cat's hanging out on the other side of the room, and she calls its name, and it being a cat just totally ignores her, as cats tend to do. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, "Hey, Bob," and the cat looked up, and I was like, "Oh shit! It thinks its name is Bob now. I fucked up. I fucked up bad. I've ruined this
I mean,
cat.
it gets to choose its name.
It does.
I guess it does."
Yeah, cats can answer whatever they feel.
Yeah, no, but that cat, for whatever reason, decided to ignore all the times I wasn't there, which was 6 days a week at least, and instead just decided to respond to Bob.
Well, I will state that growing up, I had a couple of cats, and they roamed the neighborhood, and they had
More named Bob.
none of them were named Bob. They were distinct cats that had their own names. But if you shouted "gato," which is Spanish for cat, they answered to that. So somebody in the neighborhood was just like, "Hey, gato," and they were like, "Yeah, sure."
They were like, "Sure, that's a name."
Yeah,
Whatever.
I'll take that. So probably some Spanish family in the neighborhood fed our cats.
I got those.
Well, so on stream I am Cass, and there
Yes.
are other locations that I am not known as Cass.
Sure.
And but it's a name I've used online for a number of years at this point. And I was out with, real people who apparently I guess had only gotten a hold of me through a messaging program rather than anywhere else that I had previously shared my real name, and kept calling me Cass, which I do answer to, except in the presence of, like my friend's wife is actually named Cass, so that's awkward when I'm like, oh yeah, they're talking to her, not me. But realizing that, like, yes, I do answer that to that, but I also feel really awkward correcting somebody at that point. So what do you do?
Nothing.
Just kind of accept it, or smartassly ask the next time. So what is my name?
Your name
What is my
is
name?
You There.
Yeah, no, that
You
is
There.
Oh, so we've
interesting
got straight up a Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening boss here.
Except worse in every way.
Yes.
And
Because Link's Awakening is a good game. And this just is.
Also, we are once again being addressed as Gogglebobble staffers.
Welcome once again, staff.
I'm the only one getting paid here.
But you're not paid to be here.
No, not to be here.
Well, then there you go.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
What we
today.
had has gone away. You could say
I mean, I won't
it's
meet
This
sad.
first picture I sent of my cat because
Think of what we
he
could
looks
have
like-
had.
really funny.
It does look really funny in that
I,
picture.
I appreciate that one picture where the cat is like looking straight at the camera. Like, what are you doing?
Trying to figure out if
What
the
you doing?
stream went silent or if it's just lagging on my end.
It's probably just
Yay.
lagging. Can you hear us?
Can you
Oh.
I'm taking that as a
can you
no.
hear us now?
Lagging and cragging.
Somebody write in the
Lagging
chat.
and-
They're Chromes. You can't hear us.
Can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. For a moment there, we were worried.
I like the cast just got that in the chat there.
I mean, making biscuits. You need to include the making biscuits video. Kitty.
Everyone's much more interested in the cat than the stream.
I have.
Yeah, obviously.
I have
Even
F.
if the game was good, that would be the case.
I was about to say I'm not insulted.
And now that we've all cut beat off 4 times.
No, you don't have to. It's fine. I am. Was just saying. I
So
have
we won't
F
get-
by Maximum the Hormone stuck in my head, which is literally a song about the Dragon Ball Z villain Frieza.
Good choice.
Also, Maximum the Hormone fucks. That band is awesome.
That's what hormones are for.
Yes. Well, they're for other things too, but that's
the
probably
fun
one of
ones.
those. That's the fun one.
Such a fluffy kitty.
I
He's
just
very
became a
fluffy.
member of a club known as the Bumbling Fools. Watching the game and the best things in life is the motto and the rule. But if you can open up your heart and hear me out just for tonight, baby, I got something to prove to you. I gotta show you I can do it right.
Okay, so I'm like just in my
Head out.
brain going
I wanna
through
see you
all the
again.
ways this game could have used the bottom screen.
Maybe.
And like the most obvious
We can
one to me
still
is just
be
have the video game
friends.
cutscene on top, and at the bottom just have like an illustration of what the video game is supposed to represent, like what this looks like in the developer's mind's eye. I don't know, some like wide angle shot of like Turban Boy standing in front of like an enormous Deku
They
tree
probably
or
didn't have
something
the
like
art
that.
budget for that.
Oh, I'm sure they didn't. But like, if I was a guy, wow, no, never mind. They
And I
didn't have
know
the art
you're
budget.
not my biggest fan, but whatever you want me to, you know that I'm gonna
I mean,
do
they
it now.
obviously had a budget to design new characters, but other than that, like, like everything so far has been reused. Like every single monster I've seen so far has come out of a different mana game. Like there has not
Nick
been
has
something.
a normal human name.
And
Bob, what did you name your guy? I forgot. Wait, did you get to name him?
you get
No,
the name,
you
but I just went with the
didn't.
default name in this case for Poppin, because he's poppin' fresh.
You should have named him Crotchrap.
Failure.
I don't think we get to name the next one because that one's got voice acting.
No lie. Like in the last 9 games I've played, most of which were just stupid free games I downloaded on my computer and then played for 5 minutes and then deleted. I named the protagonist Crotchrap in all of them. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I even try to do
Why
better.
wouldn't it be?
If you won't give me a chance,
You are all examples of the live mass
be
mentality.
better
It's top model backwards.
Pot lead 'em.
Hot lead 'em. Can you sing one of those songs?
Get out. Don't want to see you again. Maybe we can still be friends. I know that I'm gonna go and screw it up in the end, but that's okay.
Okay.
Because I'm your average man.
I do appreciate, there's a weird kind of feeling to this game of it almost being like a back to basics, like we're trying Secret of Mana but not experimentally, because it's the same kind of enemies, it's the same kind of items, the weapons that you're gradually getting, but in an extremely limited dungeon crawler setting. So it's I don't know. It's like if Secret of Mana was dumbed down but came out 12 years later.
I am trying my best
Is
to
the system-
not just absolutely lose my shit at you right now, Gogglebop. I'm trying,
What?
but it's hard. It's so fucking hard.
I mean, like I said, I wanted to be able to say, I sat down and played this game for the 2 hours that's the length of our average stream.
Sure.
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 It is very easy to play 5 minutes of it and just be like, all right, I'll try that again later, and then you die of old age.
I mean,
it happens
I'd say
faster
that
than you
this
think.
game. I'd say that this game is like wearing its portableness on its sleeve, because portable games are meant to be played on the bus or as your mom drives you to soccer practice. That is the purpose of the portable game, or at least it used to be. Now the Switch has blurred those lines beyond recognition.
And cell
So
phones,
like
I
a
will say.
game, so a game being extremely repetitive at that specific moment in time was not necessarily a bad thing. It was a thing you could do for 15 or 30 minutes as you went to whatever, right? A certain amount of repetition was allowable then. I cannot imagine forcing yourself. I'm honestly surprised you're still going. We've only been at this an hour. It's an hour and 10 minutes. It's 9:45. But your dedication to this is kind of impressive, but also deeply tragic.
I mean, just playing it for an hour doesn't seem like my dedication to this is impressive.
I wouldn't play this shit for an hour straight. I wouldn't.
I mean, I'm definitely not coming back to this afterwards, but yes, I'm continuing to play it.
I loved my Game Boy and my DS.
With you.
I mean, that's kind of the thing, is the DS was a system that simultaneously, started with a port of Mario 64, or you could play Tetris. It's a weird
Hey, do
kind of
not talk shit
situation.
about Tetris DS. Tetris DS was fucking
Only
incredible.
blue talking love, remember.
There was like
The
this
true love we
fucking versus
shared
mode where you could
today.
where you were basically fighting your opponent on the same screen, and it was awesome.
Push mode?
It's October, sir.
Never was a cloudy day.
I think I
We
heard
just let this
Caseness
happen.
somewhere in
Just
the
let it roll
background there.
Yeah, push mode in Tetris DS.
Yeah, push mode. That was it. Yeah, that shit ruled. Love that shit.
Me too.
Here's something I found out about my cat today.
What's your cat's name?
Cat facts.
Edward.
Edward. Hello, Edward.
I don't think he responds to it.
Probably not.
Like when I meow at him, he meows back.
That's what's
So
important.
that's.
Well, of course.
That is fantastic.
I found out that if I try to pet him and I'm holding a paper towel in my hand, he will just try to fight the paper towel.
That's a very cat
That's-
thing to do.
That's a very
He
cat thing to
probably
do.
thinks it's attacking you.
I'll
I must
save you.
defend.
I must defend. All
Exactly.
right, fanboy. Second follow-up question to earlier. Best song on Hello Rockview.
Let me refamiliarize myself. Sorry, I was just listening to September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. You knew that already.
I was going to say,
Of course I did.
we never would have
don't
guessed.
All right, are you ready to hear my votes?
Sure, sure.
Al's War. Which feels like a cop-out because I also said the last song on Anthem, and now I'm saying the last song on Hello Rockview.
They know how to close an album. I'm not here to
They
disagree.
really do.
This is an easy one because it's one of the singles, but I feel a lot of connection to History of a Boring Town.
Also very good. Also very good. I don't know. I feel like that one by the end of it is sort of like starting to wear on me a little bit, but Al's
I can
War is
understand
exactly
that.
the right length. Which one is the one that like has the Cinco de Mustache song at the end? That one's hilarious. Like it's a bonus track between songs. Fucking perfect.
Well, now
Wait,
September's
check.
stuck in my head. Thank you.
It's a good.
You're
one.
welcome.
It's been stuck in my head since August.
Never. Ever be gone. Never ever gonna stop.
I love that. Like currently at the game, it says find out more about recent incidents from the locals, but like there's 4 columns. We beat monsters at 2 of them. I think the answer is going to be to go to one of the other 2 columns. Like this seems straightforward. Like there are a couple say that
On
go
the
back
blue
previous
duck
areas.
line.
Fine.
It's Foa.
Maria, say do you
I'm
remember?
sorry, what else?
Maria, dancing in September. Maria, never was a cloudy day.
Ba-ba-da-ba,
I have a special fondness for basically everything that showed up in Leap Beat Agents.
As well you should. Now see, that was also a DS game that, like, when the DS came out, if you had told me, like, this was going to be one of your favorite games, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, the DS as a system is something that we talk about, like, for car rides. Like, it's something that,
I played a ton of DS at home because I was just engrossed in the game.
I mean, that's an option, but also, like, I was going to say, I repeatedly play the DS in situations where I had to have it muted because, like, it was like a car ride or something where I was around other people. And with that in mind, the idea of, like, a rhythm game being one of my favorite things on that system is like, wait, what?
That is
But
an insane
definitely
thing to
was.
say. I really hope you're referring to. I just got back. I really hope you're referring to the American Idol DS game.
Yes, that was obviously
It
what I
all
was
is-
No,
talking
the
about.
American Idol GBA game is
Oh
incredible.
yes, of course. My apologies.
Which you can play on DS, because the
Yes.
DS had a GBA slot pretty much for that reason. Like, we all remember GBA American Idol Madness. They had to include a way to play that game.
It did. And it was
Listen,
right and
I
good.
one of my favorite things is foisting the like poorly played clips of American Idol GBA on people and them not really being prepared for what that looks like.
My brain is not prepared for what that sounds like.
It's really bad.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not
gonna
good.
I'm gonna pull up a list of the songs and you're gonna tell me which one you want to hear butchered by a Game Boy Advance.
Oh.
I mean, none of them, let's be honest.
All of them.
Okay. I Will Survive. I Want to Dance with Somebody. Twist and Shout. Escape. Evergreen. A Moment Like This. Thank You. Genie in a Bottle. Livin' La Vida Loca. Bye Bye
Wait.
Bye.
Bum, bum,
Who's-
bum, 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 bum,
Whose
bum.
version of Thank You?
Nido.
Ah,
Bye Bye
But
Bye.
yes,
Baby
that's an
One More
important
Time. Mhm.
as
I
they
Want
all
It
do.
That Way. Oops, I Did It Again. Fast Love. Like a Virgin. Let Me Entertain You. Spinning Around. Waiting for Tonight. Suspicious Minds. And I'm a Believer.
There are lots of like all-time classics on there, and a surprisingly like almost even split of songs from 2001 or 1999. The period of time between pre 9/11 and the day of 9/11.
That would be 9/11 in case you're curious.
I love. I used to be like, a shitty young Republican, so I was always like, why haven't we given 9/11 a name? Now I'm not a shitty young Republican, and I love the fact that like we have never given 9/11 a name.
I think we have. Isn't it like
Name would
Freedom
you have
Day or something?
proposed giving
That'd
this?
be nobody calls
was
it that.
Yeah, it was brief. It was in 2002. It was declared Patriot Day, and no one has thought about that since.
I will never call it Patriot Day. We will always just call
I
it.
mean, I
9/11.
see it on calendars
oi,
sometimes.
freedom,
unfortunately.
oi.
We have never given 9/11 a name.
Freedom, oi.
I remember I saw some like British comedian like do like a 3-minute setup for them about how dark and edgy and like how he can't even like begin to tell this joke in America for like a 9/11 joke.
I will always state we did Hulkamania jokes about it. Okay.
Mania jokes during 9/11. Those images were made while the towers were falling.
I mean, I was within literal sight distance of New York. Like, I saw it happen, and I made jokes about sharks doing it. Because I don't know if you remember, but that summer there had been like a number of shark attacks like all over the country. Like that was the big news, and I was joking that the sharks did it because that way it took the heat off sharks. And you know what? People don't even remember the sharks from prior to 9/11, so it worked out. Good job, sharks.
Because 9/11 happened.
Yeah, and now nobody cares about sharks. Like freaking Jaws, who cares?
But like the idea that like Americans would be like offended by 9/11 jokes is so fucking funny to me because have you seen us?
Well, I mean,
a second shark has hit the towers.
Shark!
A second shark has hit the towers.
I'm just picturing the planes flying into the towers and just the shark going, "I'm a shark!"
So that's the next
just
installment of the Sharknado
I'm just imagining like a shark at like the pilot's seat, just shouting, "Suck my dick!"
And obviously the shark has little pilot goggles on.
Obviously, and like a World War I fighter ace hat.
No,
Like
so
Snoopy?
clearly
Yes, exactly like
The
Snoopy.
the next installment of the Sharknado series is going to be Sharknado 9/11.
I watched all the Sharknado movies. I watched 4 of them back to back with Matito family. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, dear friend.
During a hurricane,
As you do.
as one does. And then the next year, the next one came out, and that was the final one. So I can tell you that no, there won't be any more Sharknado movies.
Human Red Skull said Sharknadoes did 9/11 confirmed.
Truth. Teach the
But that was written
controversy.
before I said the thing that I just said.
Nobody
so-
has ever said that
Screaming Red
Sharknadoes
Skull's ahead of the curve.
can't melt steel beams. Like, we know this. We know that Sharknadoes are capable of it.
My cat like bit me twice earlier.
Yeah, was that because you
Ew.
were singing?
No.
Like, it sounded like you were going like, da-da-da-da, now!
I really, really hope your cat was just like looking at you going, I'm gonna bite this motherfucker. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Now, Crumbs, I do not.
I've made the
That was a very rude thing I just referred to you as, but that wasn't me. That was your cat. Cats are extremely rude.
I've made the
I
executive
don't care.
decision to link the horrible Game Boy Advance version of Livin' La Vida Loca.
Honestly, like, I know there were like 4 choices, but really there was only one choice, and it was
Whichever
Livin'
one you
La Vida
picked was going to get stuck in my head anyway.
Yeah, but you'll get to hear.
But also, Chromes, I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the "Tell Your Dog I Said Hi" stickers.
I don't.
I am
am.
familiar with it, yes.
It's part of a fundraiser thing by the group called We Rate Dogs, and they
That's a
Oh, yeah.
group now?
Had to be.
I hate that account. I genuinely hate that account.
in the sense
Yeah.
that they do fundraisers and donate to abandoned dogs and stuff, because that doesn't sound like something to hate.
Sure, that's
But-
fine. Whatever. I hate that
I
account.
think he hates the Twitter persona.
Oh, I don't know anything from Twitter in this context, but okay. Apparently, there's another bumper sticker that says "Tell your cat I said." Psst.
I don't
You
think
cut
that
out-
sound translates well.
Cut out exactly there, and that's perfect.
Well,
Never
I was
tell
going
me
to say
what you
I'm not sure that the microphone picked it up, but the noise that you make towards a cat.
Oh. Like who? Or what?
I
No,
believe-
not a trilling noise.
I believe
No,
what
no, it's
she is
adorable.
saying is the name of a Sony portable system.
Wow, it's not wrong. Yeah, pss, 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 pss. I can't. I'm trying to do it so the microphone picks it up because it's set so that it ignores background
Oh, you
noise. Apparently, that noise is background noise.
Was Beach just
Okay.
burping into the mic?
No, I was shouting piss.
Somehow that made you not a pound. All right, so going back somewhere doesn't help at all.
God, I fucking love the lyric sites have fucking lyrics listed for Fabulous Secret Powers, a weird cover, a weird meme cover of fucking what's going on.
Lyric sites are wonderful. Almost all the time.
Why?
Yeah, just
Uh,
making choices.
Fanboy. Why do I feel like y'all have sent me a link to one of these before?
Probably
I
have.
don't know if I have at some point or not.
That's the very specific graphic imagery going on.
I feel like I've probably done it because I send that to basically everyone I consider a friend.
It's
So
extremely
it's
important.
an initiation.
It gets
Well, like,
sent
I don't
all
know
the
if you
time.
sent it to me personally or just posted it in the chat at some point, but like I've seen this.
I've definitely
fairly
posted it in the
recently.
chat before.
I'm having a moment here. A series of moments.
Living La Vida Loca, considered for elite beat agents.
I was kind of like petting / poking him, and he like opened his mouth.
The poking was
Yeah.
probably an issue.
But like any of the songs that Fanboy read off that list would have gotten stuck in my head anyway, so
Ba-ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba.
exactly.
I love the incredibly low quality MIDI trumpet.
I will say that midis are a lost art.
True story.
I miss low quality MIDI trumpets.
I miss
I like trumpets in all contexts though, so
my favorite part of the internet back in the day was like when there was like it was just the cusp of when video games changed, when like you could get like the entire Final Fantasy VII soundtrack in MIDI because somebody went to the effort of that.
Because they wanted it as a cell phone ringtone.
Yeah, there you go.
You remember when you used to customize ringtones for people?
Remember when Crazy Frog?
I don't wanna. I feel like we had this conversation a few weeks ago.
We
and
did.
I
We
would not
did,
like
because
to
I talked
revisit.
about both Crazy Frog Racers.
I
Oh,
would
Bob, when are
not
you streaming
care to
Crazy Frog
revisit.
Racer 2?
I feel like we should do a night of just the random games that Fanboy has mentioned and said, "Why? When are you doing blah?"
Like hurdy
I mean, you're the one that has to play him, motherfucker.
Like it would
If you
definitely
give
be.
me that license, I will start listing things that will make you sad.
And when finally we will do Egg Week.
Oh,
Egg
that has to be like several weeks.
Egg.
I can list so many games.
Such a thing to be able to say.
There's more.
Poor Kishi once had to listen to me at 2 a.m. go into like a weird dissociate fugue and start listing egg games.
I'm trying to like think of egg games. Like we're talking about like literal eggs, right? Not like slang for a trans person who hasn't figured out they're trans yet, right?
I mean, that would be also
I'm
an
not expert on
interesting
those.
series
I'm
of
not the
games.
judge on that. I'm
Yeah,
sure
no,
that would be
same.
fascinating. I'm not the person who can do it.
It
Yeah,
definitely,
no, absolutely.
definitely.
I feel like
Persona
that's-
4.
I feel like that's a valuable field of study, but it's not for me. I'm definitely not the guy for that.
I think Mega Man might be an egg.
I'm
Okay,
talking.
so
I'm
like,
talking egg of
Fantastic
steel.
Dizzy.
I'm talking Eggmania, Extreme Madness.
Okay, that's two.
I'm
I guess
talking
how many
Elemental
Dizzy
Gimmick
games are there?
Gear.
Okay, sure,
There's like
that counts.
dozens. There's like a dozen Dizzy games.
I was gonna say any
yeah.
of the Dizzy games. Billy Hatcher,
Any
of
Dizzy
course.
game. Sure.
You have to
Billy
play
Hatcher,
goddamn.
obviously.
Yeah, you have to play goddamn. Like
The
Dizzy
suffering.
3.5.
I'm
The
sure there's
suffering
a
that would
Humpty
like go into
Dumpty.
like cataloging the Dizzy games, not worth it.
You can't ask me for egg games. I don't know games like that.
Yeah, we would not tell you that you had to.
No,
We would
nobody's
never-
gonna make you
We
make
would never
Egg Week.
request that of anyone.
Like, don't look at me.
You're
Okay.
fine.
Wow. I found something just called the Egg Game. I think this is technically tabletop. I don't know.
I mean, eggs are universal, so I would not be surprised.
I would assume.
Is one of these like a Humpty Dumpty game, or I don't?
Is there a Humpty Dumpty
There was
game? It
that
feels
is
like
one of
there
the
should
first
be.
important pinball tables.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about the Aqua Teen episode where where Shake gets a pinball table where the eggs are from a rare bird.
Oh yeah.
The balls are from like a rare pinball bird. And the entire last 5 minutes of the episode is just the birds arguing with each other over nothing.
Not unusual for an Aqua Teen thing.
Oh, absolutely not.
Aqua Teen has a certain vibe.
Killing so many lizards.
Ba-bow, ba-da-da-ba-bow.
For some weird
Meanwhile, if we want to talk about like egg movies, we could go with anything by the Sorry, go ahead, gobble bob. I will finish my thought later.
I was just confused by the fact that there were two versions of my head on the map. I have no idea what was going on with that.
No, if we want to start talking egg movies, I could come up with a few that would be in the using the other definition of egg.
I mean, Shrek.
Oh, well, I was gonna say anything by the Wachowskis.
Yeah, that's the free space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Like that was the first thing that came to mind as soon as Beat said that. I was like, but I'm counting stitches.
Did-
I
did
can't
they-
say it right now.
Did they already transition by the time of Speed Racer?
I believe.
I think one of them had.
Yeah, I want to say
Okay,
one of them had.
Yeah, because I know it wasn't simultaneous, which that had to be a weird family
Yeah.
conversation.
Apparently they both knew at quite young.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if it wasn't a case of one of them. Yeah, I wouldn't be.
and
I
like,
would be
you
shocked
know,
if it wasn't the case of the first one.
They
was
were
just
they were
willing to try
siblings.
first.
I have zero doubt that they like confided in that to each other.
I mean,
I
that's
tell
the
my
thing is
brothers,
that
but I wouldn't
like
tell anyone else in the world.
I mean, I don't have
Mhm.
any siblings, but I just the sort of having the conversation of who goes first and like that decision and like I don't know if like I mean this is all just like Wachowski like fanfic in my head here, but just like the unspoken like statement of basically could this go poorly and then the other one decides not to like it's just it raises so many questions in my head that they did not do it simultaneously because like I said it just raises questions.
I mean, they seem to still be on good terms. So my thoughts would be one of them just said, "No, I'm gonna do it," and the other one said, "All right, I fully support you, but I'm not ready for that."
Yeah, no, I
You
mean
know?
like that is the
Yeah.
the ideal
Nobody
thing, but
gets-
just all the thinking that could go into that just I find fascinating, but
The way I see it, nobody gets to tell you who you are, and nobody gets to like demand a timeline for you telling anyone else who you are.
that's an excellent way of
Oh,
saying
shit.
it.
It's a DS game or 3DS game.
Nope,
It's a
just
DS game, and it's terrible. Also, hi, Cal Scrub.
It's mostly just boring.
Boring is terrible.
Yeah, that's the worst thing a video game can be.
Because you mentioned Speed Racer, and I'm reading Wikipedia. One publicly revealed transition after Speed Racer's release in 2008, and
I love Speed Racer. I'm not even kidding. That movie, that movie is awesome.
I think I've got like a button problem
The-
going on here.
other announced or at least came out as trans in 2016.
Okay, so a while later,
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a pretty big jump between them.
pretty big gap. Yeah.
Something happened there.
And there are about 2.5 years between the two of them age-wise. And the older one transitioned first.
Yeah.
Because I got curious after you said that.
That's fair.
My favorite Wachowski thing is the ending of the Matrix Path of Neo video game, where they sit down and explain to you that they felt that the Matrix Revolution's ending, while they stood by it, did not make sense for a video game. So they had concocted a new ending, and that new ending was that all of the Agent Smiths merged to form like a giant Power Rangers monster, and then Neo flies through it and explodes it.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely
Matrix
beautiful.
Path of Neo is an incredible video game.
Oh yes, it's awesome.
One moment, please. The game seems to have completely glitched the hell.
Yeah,
Whoa, look at that
is
text.
this the anti-piracy biting you in the ass, Gogglebum?
I have no idea. I mean,
Is-
probably
have you
no one
been-
has played
Have
this
you been
game long
brought
enough
to
to
your
reach it.
knees by anti-cheat because you're obviously cheating. You had 999 HP.
Yes, I was cheating.
Well, stop cheating. Obviously, this is penance for your sins.
Gogglebot? Cheating?
Sometimes when I'm lying, but just to let it all out what's
I'm
in
trying to
my
figure out if it's a controller thing or if it's like the game completely
What?
glitching out.
I think the game just absolutely borked itself.
Yeah. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside.
Yeah, that's
Played.
Real high and out.
The
yeah,
game's rebelling against its
that
own
is
existence.
exciting new levels of fucked.
I
You have to be honest. Are you not playing this on a Nintendo DS?
might not be playing this on a Nintendo DS.
He's playing it on a
that's
Nintendo DS that beat
that's
us in the
against the
process of breaking
rules.
on its head.
that's
Monster.
illegal, Goggle Bob. You can't do that.
They can't do that. That's illegal.
Okay, so
So every time I pick up my cell phone, I'm reminded that I hurt my hand. And I need to
Sorry.
share with you all just how completely clumsy I am.
Okay.
Because I comb my hair in the shower. I have fairly long hair. I was combing my hair in the shower yesterday and apparently had a very big knot that was not coming out. And I was fighting with it. And the knot won. And I accidentally punched the tile wall.
I mean, that sounds bad.
Yeah. That sounds normal.
Yeah. But I didn't think anything of it until later in the evening. I was holding my phone with apparently supporting it with my pinky and couldn't figure out what my hand hurt. So
As somebody with a pretty bad chronic back injury that will like go for like weeks with a G and just fine, like, you know, a little sore sometimes, whatever. And then one day I'll do something that pisses it off and then I'll just be out of commission for like the rest of the week. I get it. That sucks.
But somehow my yarn work doesn't bother it. So who knows?
No, that's how injuries work sometimes. As stated, I have a back injury, right? And like the way I caused this, the way I brought this shit upon myself, I kid you not, was sitting on my wallet all day at work for like 3 years.
Oh,
Such a stupid way to hurt yourself. I know. But like, you know, I actually twinged it really bad when I was basically cleaning up my brother's backyard because he's got like this massive, elaborate secret garden set up back there, and he was out of town when the hurricane was about to hit. And I was
did
like,
the
okay,
secret garden survive the hurricane?
You know, close enough. Whatever.
A few fairies were injured.
No furniture did any damage.
It's not. There weren't any fairies in the secret garden. It was some crippled kid. Did you not read this ancient British book in elementary school, Gaga Bob?
I'm kind of impressed you went there immediately. That was pretty good.
Also, I'm pretty sure that book is ableist as fuck, so we will not dwell on it any longer.
You can now play video.
Anyways, I twinged it or like tweaked it or whatever while I was moving like benches and shit into his garage. And I was like, I guess I hurt my back a little bit. Whatever. Doesn't matter. And then the next day, which was the day the hurricane hit, I was like, oh God, everything is misery. And I am such a broken man.
Good thing you didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, no. Good thing I just had to hang out at home. But like I've been very careful the neck for like since then, and I'm almost back to like 100%, but it takes a little while, and it is annoying, very irritating. I get so mad at it.
The secret, baby.
We're getting old.
Well, you know what to do. You need to go to the moon.
The secret baby is probably like 9 years old at this point.
Probably older.
I can't.
Nobody in this chat gets that but me and Fanboy. Nobody.
Was Callie shouting something from a far off moon? I thought I heard something just now.
I'm still listening, but I'm trying to make my pork belly tacos right now before the
good choice
sound of programming. And I was saying that's not a baby, that's a child.
That is a child.
It was a secret baby when it was revealed to be a secret.
And it was revealed to be a secret through the dulcet tones of Fat just improvising a song.
I believe he like straight up just prefaces that song with "I'm blasted out of my goddamn mind."
Yeah.
I'm glad Fat's doing well.
Yeah.
And now what's going on is stuck in my head. Thank you, fanboy.
Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah,
I mean, at least last
yeah.
week we had the excuse of a He-Man character.
What's going on?
He's fighting me.
As he should be.
He-Man or the cat?
The cat.
He can.
There's really nothing saying the cat isn't He-Man in the skies. Like there's
That's
a
called
precedent.
Thundercats.
There's a precedent for that.
Come on, bite me again so I can take a picture.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Come on, do it again.
like
Do it,
like that you're
coward.
taunting a cat. The one thing you can never do with a cat is ask them to do something, because then they will immediately be like, nope.
No, you can ask, but there's no guarantee it'll happen.
There's almost a guarantee that it won't happen.
True story.
I like that I had to feed one of my friend's cats over the weekend, and I literally showed up, and he's definitely one of those cats that he's just sitting in his little cat bed, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" Like he's just sitting there, like staring at me, like, "I know you, but you're not normally the guy that feeds me, so why are you here?"
Yago Bob, how is your porch cat situation going?
Yesterday my porch cat was like in stealth mode all day, which was kind of hilarious because like he very deliberately was like hiding in this like thing that I didn't even realize he was out there until like I really looked at it. I'm like, there's a cat in there.
Kid, hey!
So my porch cat is. It might have just been because it's unusually warm for October. So the good cat was deciding that they would get some shade.
Smart cat.
Unopposed.
Yeah, well,
overwhelmed,
regulating your own body
given
temperature
up
is basically the number one
before
activity of a
the
cat.
found destitute,
Explains all the sleep.
intractable.
Like
I'm living proof.
you've got your option of sitting directly in the sun, and then when you have reached 10,000 degrees, you stop sitting directly in the sun.
Ow, 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 ow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rip.
Oh wait, did the cat cooperate with biting you? Well, these are Chrome's dying breaths here being broadcast on Even Worse Stream.
Of course. As is
We'll
important.
miss you, Chromes.
It's been nice knowing you.
Not dying.
A victory. I'm looking at no one. No place. No victory.
All right, now we can go
No
back to Jad, and
better
hopefully this time the game
this
won't glitch
year.
out.
I think I'm stuck. Don't count me down. Just count me out. I lost a game I didn't know about. Pick up the check. I'm
So anyway, the
checking out.
lore of this game.
Who gonna torment now?
Okay,
I
that
don't give
may
a
be
shit.
on me this time.
I will not ever care about the lore of this game.
So in Second Densetsu 3, there were
Falling apart.
the God
falling
Beasts,
apart at last.
and they were bad
no
guys.
More trying when
And this
we're
game,
falling
for
apart.
unknown reasons at this point in the plot,
Falling apart
all the
at
bosses have been
last.
two God
more
Beasts
trying
fused into
when you're
one, which
falling
is,
apart.
you know, the
No
most... Oh,
peace.
that's a good picture.
No dignity. No looking up. No one.
Also, the scale of that is kind of
No
amusing, that it makes your cat look very small.
No three. Off this year.
He's actually pretty large.
Yes, no, I could tell from the other pictures he's actually quite large, but in that picture it looks like a small cat beset by an angry hand. Like, I'm gonna get you.
Falling apart at last. No
Like,
more trying.
The thing he did is that he bit me, but like in like my arm, and he like shook his like head, while he was biting me.
It's just to do some extra damage.
And he's never done that before.
It really
I found
wanted
that
to
really
prove,
funny.
like, I'm the boss here. Don't mess with me.
Out of all of the times he's attacked me tonight, that one did not break skin at all.
Yeah, okay.
Good on him.
Kid.
But
Yeah,
it's like really funny.
I had friends with a couple of husky dogs over the
He's
weekend.
purring at me, but he's still trying to fight me.
Well, that means he's enjoying the fights. That's how that
Because his
works.
tail's whipping around, so he's like annoyed. I am annoying him on purpose.
Acting on your
But yes,
best
I had a pair of
behavior,
huskies over the
turn
weekend
your
playing in the yard,
back
and
on Mother
I was very
Nature.
impressed by how much the huskies could
Everybody
fight each other, but
wants
like
to rule the
gently,
world.
which is kind of impressive because huskies are very big dogs. But they would
They're
like,
high energy, but they're very soft and
yes,
gentle.
they would like
Huskies are 90% hair.
they would like nudge each other. Why is your cat a slut?
What?
I said, why is your cat a slut?
A
I'm slut
slut?
shaming your cat.
Make the most of freedom and of
This got
pleasure.
weird.
Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world.
I'm sorry to say that I can't think of that song without thinking of Bioshock Infinite.
Holding hands while
It's
the
okay.
walls come tumbling
What?
down.
I can't
God,
think
I
about
hate
that
people being
now
so fucking
Behind you.
without also thinking
I
about
feel
Pixels
we
2014.
almost made it. So
Man,
sad they had
that's a
to
movie I've not thought of
wait.
in
Everybody
10 years, actually.
wants to rule
Remember that
the
giant Pac-Man? Good stuff.
I
Toru
do not.
Iwatani was probably paid more for the use of his name in that than he was paid for making Pac-Man.
God, that's
That's-
horrible.
Honestly,
He was given nothing for Pac-Man.
take the
like,
fucking money,
literally.
man. Just take the fucking money.
Yeah, no, I respect that. By his own description, he was the only thing that he could recall about Namco's recompense for Pac-Man was it may have been mentioned on my quarterly review.
Wow.
Incredible shit.
God. It's like
Awful.
Superman basically being purchased for a sandwich.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened to Bill Finger.
Oh, Bill Finger didn't even get the courtesy of the sandwich.
I mean, how many years was his name removed from anything?
70.
There you go. Thank you for having an answer immediately.
What are we talking about now?
The creator of Batman.
Oh,
Batman.
Everybody.
Well, various things, but Batman is where we just settled.
The movie where the guy
never,
gets
never,
over.
never, never needed. One headline, why believe it?
Sorry, that's the only thing
Everybody
that really sticks out to me about
wants
Pixels 2014.
That's all that it should. Batman for many years was a case where like Bill Finger's credit was actively suppressed by Bob Kane.
Bob Kane was famously just a weird asshole.
Famously, basically didn't do anything. Also, famously like lied about his age for pay reasons at one point.
That's incredible.
What
Truly
was
incredible.
the lie about his age for pay reasons? I never heard that one.
I forget what the exact reasoning was, but there was something that would change his pay scale depending upon what his age was. So lied about his age to DC Comics.
Is this?
Bob Kane.
Oh God.
That's so bizarre.
I mean, like, he was just the kind of guy who, like when somebody jokingly says my life is a lie, like, that was Bill Kane.
Yeah. Everything
Yeah,
about
Bob
Bill
Kane.
Kane.
Bob Kane just sort of lied about everything. There's the
Alright.
old clown. There's the clown painting story.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I respect the Carney Code, to a point. To a point.
To a point.
Just the willingness to turn your entire life into a pitch.
a pitch for whoever happens to be listening at this exact moment.
Yeah, exactly.
AV, this
Met
might be
people.
of some interest to you. I actually read Daredevil Born Again today while waiting for the stream to start.
Oh wow.
I mean, that's a good
geez.
choice,
Yeah.
at least.
It's not a very long.
Where'd you find Born Again?
I mean, I definitely found it in a
The
bookstore
internet.
where I paid money for it. I definitely didn't just like read comic online free Daredevil Born Again. It's a DuckDuckGo.
But yeah,
I
Daredevil Born
would
Again is
never
one of
do
those
something
stories.
like that. I liked it. It was good. I think it sort of like went in a very weird direction at the end with just like Terminator Vietnam PTSD man showing up and just blowing up half of New York, and that being the resolution. It felt like it sort of out of left field, but whatever.
I feel like Born Again is the height of like when underground comics looked at Frank Miller and were like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frankie was writing about a very specific vision of New York, one that does not play super well with being in the same for being in this, not even in the same universe, but in like the same neighborhood as Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu.
Or Spider-Man for that matter.
Spider-Man, Werewolf by Night. Sorry,
Daredevil lives in a version of New York that might not be worth saving.
Yeah, that was what stuck out to me. It was it reminded me of the Dark Knight Returns. Like when you read it and go, "Oh, this dude's an insane person."
This dude is extremely misanthropic.
Yeah, like this guy hates everybody. Also, is that your cat biting you, Crumbs?
Yeah.
Actively biting you.
Wow. Wow, your cat shows violence.
I
And
feel
I
like
just
the
do
cat
not
may
have-
have
He
been-
was this cat was provoked into violence to some extent.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, we were just hanging
Cat
out.
may have been
and I was
intense.
petting him, and then he decided to bite me.
We were just
Okay,
hanging
you know
out.
what?
Officer,
Decided.
I did nothing.
I'm not as think as you drunk I am.
I did nothing to encourage this behavior.
I can't stand.
Oh, stick. Oh god, no. The bad thing is like being of the generation that encountered the Ninja Turtles before I encountered Daredevil.
Same.
The hand is eternally ruined for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hand,
Stick, Splinter.
stick, all of it is ruined for me.
Like it's one of those things that, like, as a child with no knowledge of Daredevil, it does not even occur to you that it's a parody of something.
I mean,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
main villain before the Ninja Turtles was Skeletor. Like, why would Shredder be anything different?
Yeah, it's like, oh, Shredder is so beyond the pale. It's like, no, you don't understand. Like a muscle, like a gym queen skeleton was my last. Was the last villain in the villain in the last
I
show.
will continue to follow the Shredder even when he's Kevin Nash.
Oh man.
Oh god, why is Daredevil Born Again going to be 41 hours long?
That's such a fucking crime.
18 episodes of any of these Disney Marvel series is like, just what could those can't sustain 6? How are you getting to 18?
I'm gonna watch
has
it.
to
I'm
be.
gonna watch it because I watched all the others. I watched the extremely good first season and the middling second season, and okay, you're doing this then. All right. I guess I'm not stopping you. Third season.
The
And now I'm
closest
gonna watch the
attempt at
next one.
Daredevil Born Again. Now we're
Yeah.
doing Daredevil Born Again.
I made a joke like a year ago on Twitter that like Daredevil Born Again was just going to be 18 straight hours of Matthew Murdock and Wilson Fisk debating the finer points of Catholic doctrine, politely, but like firmly. Like they weren't going to like stoop to insults. They both came into this like with conviction. And
Mhm.
we're going to have this important discussion, and that would be the entire show, and it would be the greatest show on Disney Plus ever.
That would be. It would be.
It would be. Disney Plus obviously is a bunch of cowards who lack the strength of conviction to actually do that. But
Honestly,
it would be pretty
surprised
cool.
I'll be surprised if their version of Daredevil is even able to reference being Catholic beyond "I'm Catholic."
I was going to say they're going to do Born Again without the religion. It's going to be the saddest damn thing we've ever seen.
Doing
God.
Daredevil without a sense of religion is like kind of like, well, what is even your hook?
I mean, like Netflix Daredevil, for what it's worth, that show was Catholic as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do him without religion, there's not really a hook. He's just a guy running around.
I just do not
We're gonna
believe
do a
that
hallway
that Disney, like of all people, is capable of that. You know what? I really don't even think they're capable of a hallway fight.
No, they made
We've
fun
seen
of it in
plenty of evidence
She-Hulk.
they aren't.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Like people said, "Oh, it's a hallway fight," and then it wasn't. And I watched it, and it was like that was Chris Cox walking into a hallway that was like way bigger than any of the hallways in Marvel in like Netflix Daredevil, and then like doing like 3 punches off screen, and then the Hulk busts through a wall, and you're like, "Oh, well, I guess
Disney
that's
doesn't
over."
even have small hallways. Sad.
Disney
Still
can't
can't get
even
over
do a
they-
claustrophobic fight scene.
They filmed 6 episodes, and then we're like, shit. Try again, but we're keeping these 6 episodes.
Wait, they didn't throw them away? I thought they threw them away.
It seems like they're keeping them. Marvel plan to retain some elements. Okay, so they're not keeping the edit that they had, but they're keeping some of them. Oh, they're adding new serialized elements because that's the problem with all the Disney Marvel shows is that they're not serial.
This doesn't have enough continuity.
God.
Can they tie it into Rescue or whatever that failed Iron Man project is?
Ironheart?
Ironheart, thank you.
That'll come
God.
out one of these decades.
That
What
one
is
is so
Ironheart?
hilarious to me because like Daredevil Born Again has a release date now. Ironheart still doesn't. They finished filming that shit in 2002.
2022.
2022, yeah.
2002 would be
Ironheart-
pretty amazing.
Ironheart, okay, CalScript, I need to answer that question. I need to ask you a very prescient question. Have you seen Black Panther 2?
No, I have not.
Nobody has.
That's not true. I saw it.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. Don't be confused.
You got Mandela affected into thinking you saw it.
Wrong.
So like a full
You're thinking of Sister Act 2. It was
a
very
full
similar.
third of Wakanda Forever is this is them going to America
Aren't you
and
excited
finding
about
this
Ironheart?
college student who has a gigantic flashing neon sign over her head that says "Check out my Disney Plus series in 6 months."
Which has now been delayed for years.
That has become over 2 years at this point.
I love that it's like the real tragedy is that they canceled the Blade film before they had anything in the can to like feel forced to do something with and delay it for years.
They had Mahershala Ali. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong. And I
Mahershala
apologize.
Ali's signature on some sort of contract.
They had him say exactly one line off screen in the post credit scene of the Eternals.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
they had that.
That's
That was
incredible.
nice. And
That's
now
it.
it's just a
That's it,
joke in
nothing else.
Deadpool.
Are we excited for the Wonder Man TV series?
I really, really hope that actually exists because at this point I'm not sure. it
Scheduled for
does.
2025. 10 episodes.
I don't believe you. I'll believe it when I see it. Remember when they
It
renamed
appears to already be in the can is the
Agatha
problem, buddy.
Remember when they remember when they renamed the Agatha show like 14 times and then tried to play it off like it was a guerrilla marketing thing, and it turned out no, they just had no fucking idea what they were doing.
Yep.
Has
Okay,
anybody
yeah, the
watched that at
quality of
all?
the-
Like at all?
I have watched
I know
like
Pete
3
has.
episodes of it. I watched
And?
the first episode and was like, hey, that was pretty all right. I watched the 7th. I tried to watch the 2nd episode and was like, oh, they got rid of the one thing that was interesting, so now I don't care. And then I watched like a synopsis YouTube video and saw, well, okay, I guess I'll check out the next one since apparently that's the one where everything actually happens. And it turns out the plot of the show is that Scarlet Witch's make-believe son, who never existed because he was make-believe, found a dead kid and possessed his body and has been there for 3 years.
I don't know why you would write that.
Now, is the make-believe
That's-
kid like distinctly the comic book character, or did they do something else with that?
I guess, who gives a shit? I don't fucking read that shit. Nobody does.
Well, because I have noticed something with the Marvel universe in that they introduce a character with a weird, different origin, but then by the next time they appear in a movie or something, they're just the same as the comic book character.
Oh
Like-
god, I just read something and now I'm
Probably
unhappy.
will be, but who gives a shit? I'm not fucking...
But that's
I'm
why
not,
I'm
like, fucking
asking, so I'm
watching a Young
prepared
Avengers
for like
movie.
when Wiccan shows up as a character.
Some
I
poor,
believe that's who he's
light-
supposed to be, but I just don't give a fuck.
Okay.
some
the,
poor
uh,
lighting guy fucking died during the production of Wonder Man. What the fuck?
How?
What?
Huh?
Shit? Ow.
He fell out of the rafters.
God,
That
that's
sucks.
horrifying. I'm so sad.
Disney and the place they were filming both got fined for both
OSHA
got fined.
violations?
Yeah, by the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health. Presumably, it was determined that they hadn't been paying close enough attention to the deterioration of the conditions of the catwalk that he was standing on when the fall happened.
So a man is dead and they get fined.
Yep,
He probably had a Disney
that's
Plus
Hollywood, baby.
subscription.
That's Hollywood, baby. I mean, like, honestly, I was expecting them just to be like, oh, we're very sorry. And everybody be like, oh, well, you did your best. So the fact that they at least got a slap on the wrist is something. The man
Thank
is
God
dead.
for Wonder Man.
I cannot imagine dying. Fucking dying. The end of your life. There won't be anything more of you for Wonder Man. That's,
I mean, like,
that's-
dying
that's
is one
horrifying.
thing, but, like, imagine your family goes on and they see, like, the press tour with who's starring in Wonder Man? Like, some loser.
Yeah, like name me the person who cares about Wonder Man.
And that's
is
the
big
thing, like, Disney Plus
I've
is
never
going to
even
be
been
like,
a comic book fan that cares about Wonder Man.
Wonder Man is back. Like, everybody get excited for Wonder
Look
Man.
up who's playing
he's
Wonder Man.
the
You know,
inspiration
Wonder
for the
Man.
Vision. Oh, boy.
all the fans of West Coast Avengers. Remember the
It's
West
the
Coast
guy,
Avengers?
Oh, yeah, the
it's the
Cheetah
guy who
Lady.
played Black Manta and Aquaman.
Oh,
Wonder Man just
he's a
sounds
good
like
actor.
a what if version
Like,
of Wonder
yeah, I
Woman.
wish that he was in I wish he was playing a character that anyone gives a single fuck about.
I'll say it. I fucking loved him in Aquaman. He was great.
Yeah, no, like I said, he's a good actor. I wish he got to play a character anyone gave a fuck about.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice if the fact that no one gives a fuck about Wonder Man meant that, like, the people working on this got to make something interesting and passionate, but that's not the case. Kevin Feige's an egomaniac. Of course not.
I was about to say, it has to lead into promoting Eternals 2 or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh
like, there's
God, he's so it's so hilarious to me
he
that
wants
is
Eternals
absolutely
2 so bad. He has to
to make
has
that
to run it
because-
back, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, in his mind that's the okay, so like
That's
here's
the one that got away.
Rosebud.
here's the thing I've heard about Kevin Feige that's hilarious to me. He had like basically a plaque made of the Rotten Tomatoes score of every MCU movie, so he could just put it in his office and be like, "Why, yes."
Look at
that's
how
the
many
Rotten
people
Tomatoes
said,
score."
that was pretty good.
Now to be like clear about this, the way Rotten Tomatoes works is if the review is mostly positive, if the review is like, yeah, that was fine, then it is considered just good. And if the review is that sucked, it is considered bad. And Marvel movies are all at the beautiful baseline of that was fine, I guess, which means Rotten Tomatoes calls them all good. So
Like,
all of
the
these
thing
had
I'm most
ridiculously high numbers until Eternals, which got 73. That's a C.
That's not actually how high it was. Eternals is much lower than you're remembering.
Really? Oh my. What is it?
Yeah, I'm pulling this up because I remember it being like 50.
See.
Let's see, 47%.
Oh my, that's so much worse.
Failing
That,
grade.
that definitely put a stop to the plaque train. He
He
was
probably
going
like
to the-
He had probably
He wasn't
paid for the
going to
plaque,
the-
and it had been engraved with everything except the percentage, and then he's like just staring at it, haunted.
Yes,
Was
he's like-
Eternals the first Marvel movie back after COVID?
I think that was actually mid-COVID. I want to say.
I don't
Well, okay,
know.
let me
would
put it
depend
this
upon
way.
What you mean
Black
by
Widow
that.
had to be on Disney Plus.
Yes,
So
and
was
that's
this
good
the
because
first
it
one
sucked.
that was back in theaters? Because technically nothing is
Remember
post-COVID yet.
They got sued for breach of contract over Black Widow. That's why I remember that was definitely a Disney Plus one.
Yeah, that was definitely Disney Plus, along with like that one Pixar movie about Portugal or whatever.
I'll say it. They were right. Scarlett Johansson was right to sue Disney over that.
Well, yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
sucks.
They picked a movie that they could put in fucking on Disney Plus and then be like, well, those like we charged them $30 if they wanted to stream it, but that's not ticket sales, so we don't have to pay you.
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
that was very
Yeah.
right to sue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also, like,
Fucking take 'em
it's
to the
kind of
cleaners.
hilarious to me, like, because this is like a documented like thing now. Disney realized they fucked up super bad with Disney Plus. When it became apparent that they were actually cannibalizing their own ticket sales with the existence of Disney Plus, because if it was a Disney movie, it would be on Disney Plus. Disney is now the largest studio in the world, so that's most movies.
And
Unfortunately,
that's the grand joke, is that literally any movie that isn't Disney, like if you asked me, even freaking like Venom 3, but definitely Joker 2. If you asked me where this movie was going to wind up streaming, like I can't immediately tell you. Like
I mean, Joker 2 is definitely gonna be on HBO.
Okay, sure.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that
But they
well,
might try to make their money back by selling it elsewhere.
I was about to say,
no, that's
even,
a possibility. That's a
even with the
strong
fuck ups at
possibility.
HBO, like I could see it being somewhere else.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But Disney Plus, like a Disney movie, that's only going one place. Like they're not.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not selling that
And
to
that
NBC.
meant that everybody with a Disney Plus subscription
are NBC.
was just going, "Oh, I'll just watch this in 2 months. No big deal."
That was
And
my
like,
move,
I think
not
the most
Deadpool.
incredible example of this was they put out a Haunted Mansion movie, which was actually pretty good. Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, you know, fun, good
I
time.
like them. I like both of them.
Both of them
Yeah.
are very funny. They released that shit in July in theaters, and then in October put it on Disney Plus. That's insane, right?
You know, where it made sense.
That's an
This is the
insane thing
correct
to
month
do.
for it.
That's the correct month for it, right? But like, why
Hey,
did they do
Gogglebot
that?
play the Haunted Mansion PS2 game?
Oh, yeah, sorry, the
PlayStation-
counter programming was late because I wanted to finish my tacos.
That's
There you go.
Did
reasonable
you explain
and
that to somebody else in the tournament? I'm sorry, sir. I'm in the middle of my tacos
Well,
right
so
now.
the thing because of the like, you know, this is a ladder system and not like a double elimination bracket. Like, it doesn't actually affect anybody else that I started late. Because
You
it's
say
just like,
ladder system, but I keep imagining like someone trying to climb their way up the fucking Mortal Kombat tournament.
You know, I
so,
will
damn
say.
it, I wish I was. I just got dizzied and then killed.
You say ladder system, I think about the old wrestling ladder matches.
Custody of Dominic match.
Like, in a weird
What is
way,
the-
as much as I
God,
like.
what is the most depraved thing ever contested in a ladder match? That's probably it, but there's probably some others that are up there.
I will
God.
say as much
no,
as
no.
I,
There's the Viagra on a pole match.
Yeah,
There.
yeah. On a pole matches are just worse ladder matches, so that counts.
Yep.
Remember Buff Bagwell's mom on a pole?
Uh,
But why is that such a terrible thing?
Coal miner match. What's at the top of the pole? A glove.
the coal miner's glove. That's the most powerful glove in all of West Virginia.
It's not even a loaded glove. It's just a glove.
Wait, the
coal
glove is
miner's
supposed to be
glove, sir.
loaded?
A loaded blank just basically means like we filled an object full of rocks and you pretend to hit another wrestler in the head with it.
Ah, fair.
God, I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm looking up the history of the ladder match here.
God, there was that like reverse ladder match shit that TNA did at one point that was just the most deranged bullshit imaginable.
You get your scaffold matches too.
Oh God. Well, those were inherently depraved because they just caused injuries.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's there's some good ladder matches. You got Razor.
Oh yeah,
Ramon
ladder
v.
matches
Shawn
can be
Michaels.
great. I'm just talking about the ones that like, what is the most depraved thing that has ever been contested in a ladder match?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like Custody of Dominic has to be up there.
That's
Custody of
definitely
Dominic,
number
yep.
one. You know what I want more than anything else in the universe right now?
What's that?
Lottery.
Sandwich. I'm gonna go get one. I'll be back in a little bit.
You know, I gotta say that we were robbed from the from the Legion of Doom run that ended, the WWF Legion of Doom run that ended when Hawk like did WrestleMania so nodded off on opiates that he could barely stand. I think about how they could have had Rocco the Puppet on a pole, or perhaps in a Rocco the Puppet ladder match.
I cannot believe
I know
Rocco the Puppet's coming up again. I was talking about Rocco the Puppet with a friend earlier today.
Oh
Amazing.
God, it's like, yep. We're bringing back. We're gonna put the Legion of Doom back on top. We're gonna bring back Precious Paul Ellering. Like, oh, that's genius, and a marionette. Oh,
Thinking about it, like, I don't think that there is a streaming service that offers my kind of bad entertainment as well as WWE Network, which sucks because I don't want to pay for that. But like, there's so much deranged bullshit that is included with that, just because it's decades and decades of bad pro wrestling programming.
yeah.
Like, sometimes I just want to watch, like, Hornswoggle tricks wrestlers into going under the ring where there's a court of little people that are all attacking them. Like, that's psychotic television, genuinely detached from all notions of entertainment. And
Yeah.
that's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Oh, so this is interesting. The wiki says that Rocco the Puppet was originally introduced as Freckles in front of a live crowd at a TV taping. The segment bombing so badly that it never aired.
That's always a fun thing. Like, it's like, we put this in front of a house show. It did so poorly, we never did it again.
Freckles.
This is the secret. Freckles. Go.
How Screamer Red Skull is asking, how does a reverse ladder match work?
You had to like get you had to like pin a dude so that you would be and then talk to the official who would hand you the belt, and you had to put the ladder up and hang the belt in order to win. If the belt fell down, the match did not before a certain point the match did not conclude. It was just mind-bogglingly bad and boring.
God.
TNA employed Vince Russo for a like financially irresponsible period of time, and so you just were going to get things like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
God, that monster has 3 heads.
It does.
A monkey, a wolf, and something else?
It is a fusion between an evil witch and a giant werewolf thing. So theoretically, the werewolf head might be the dominant one. Like it might be like a Chrono Trigger. Or something. I don't know.
She thinks she's
Kind
the
of makes
passionate
sense out
one.
of this game.
I forget how much of Born Again is the Kingpin working out.
The dude
I hope
needs
that's
to
at
work
least
out.
2 entire episodes of the Disney series.
I hope so too.
That would be
Yeah.
avant-garde. I would respect that.
And I oh God, I forget. Yeah. Matt Murdock goes after the Kingpin. The Kingpin beats the shit out of him effortlessly.
I was going to say that is the version of the Kingpin that this is why he doesn't appear in Spider-Man for a while, because like the idea of him coming after a whatever Spider-Man has going on. I was going to say teenager, but like half the time he's in his 30s. But like the idea of that Kingpin just like approaching Spider-Man, it's like, how does he survive?
I felt like I had to explain to someone like why One More Day had happened a few days ago, and I was just like sort of having to sit there and explain what a Joe Quesada was and why like the very nature of the only kind of person who works in comics is someone who cares too much about them, and
Yeah.
that means that comics are always like trying to recapture 20 years ago, no matter how shitty 20 years ago was.
That sounds about right.
Diverting the train of thought for a hot second, did anybody, because you're talking about the character, did anybody watch Echo? Did we talk about
I
that
heard
in
it was okay.
Well, I mean, like, as a show, it was fine, but as far as how it goes, as far as the comics, I don't have a frame of reference, which is why I was going to ask.
Yeah, I know Beat watched it. I know he has never read the comics.
Okay, well, that doesn't
And
help.
I read the comics, but didn't watch the show.
Between you three, it would possibly be possible to determine how close it is to the comics, but probably wouldn't be
Three?
worth it. Yeah, because Beat would also be able to help with this.
I was going to say, between the
No.
two of them, they might figure it out.
I'm just stating
Oh, I thought
for
you'd seen
giving me-
the.
Entirely too much credit.
I'm stating for posterity that Chrome's apparently has been internet destroyed.
Oh, I assumed eaten by a cat.
The cat attacked. That was the end of it.
Mr. Simpson, no!
Nope, Crumbs may have returned.
Return!
We thought you were eaten by a cat.
Maybe has been eaten by a cat. Who knows?
Oh no.
No, me and the character right now.
Ah,
we have settled our
Detente.
differences.
You and the cat have reached detente.
I like this thing releases werewolves that hop.
I'm doing my level best to not acknowledge the game, and I'm going to continue to do that.
This
How do you
is
feel about NFL Blitz?
Once I defeat this boss, I'm done for the night. For the record.
When are you streaming NFL Blitz?
I mean, I was a big fan of NBA Jam.
NBA Jam owns, NFL Blitz owns, Blitz the League fucking owns. I fucking love arcade sports games. I miss when those were like, when the river ran, when the days of Milk and Honey, when those games came out every year without fail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the idea of trying to make a sport into an arcade game as opposed to like the Madden games is definitely a lost video game art.
Tragic. Like, it's fun to play a sport game that is just silly and stupid.
I was about to say NBA Jam like so perfectly captured just a 2-on-2 basketball game where you both have superpowers, and the fact that like that
Do not
didn't
make
just...
me talk up my love of NBA Street and NBA Ballers Phenom again.
White men can't jump.
NBA Ballers Phenom allows you to throw basketballs in the background to find diamonds, and I love that. I want you to even contemplate the idea of another basketball game with a morality meter.
Arch rivals?
That doesn't have a morality meter.
It should.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It was too much of a coward. I love that, like, they made the villain like an actual person. Like, there was a villain basketball player who stole your girlfriend.
What else would a villain basketball player do?
I've played the best Ramlethal player in the country, and now I'm about to play the best biking player in the country.
Right, you're getting
Okay.
beaten by all sorts of barefoot people.
Like, I have nothing but respect for a basketball player who's told, like, we want to make you like the asshole villain who's just like a huge showboat that steals the player's girlfriend, and the player just has nothing but enmity and hate in their heart for. And they was like, yeah, sure, do it.
So I said I would stop after I beat this boss, and then the game just
You
quit.
can stop.
So I
Damn
can
new.
stop. So, Children of Mana is over now.
Oh darn.
Thank you for watching.
Children of Mana.
I don't know
Is
what happened
over.
there, but it's over now. So, moving on.
Good night.
Come back next week when we play a
Night.
Halloween game.
We can talk
Yay.
about something much stupider.
Good night,
Can't wait.
everybody. Look forward to
Yeah,
Egg
things
Week.
get even dumber.